Joining me now, Ashley McGuire, the Catholic Association Senior Fellow, Matt Welch, he's a Reason magazine editor, and Bo Dietl, he's a former NYPD detective and Fox News contributor, and Father Michael Manning, host of The Word in the World. Father Manning, let's talk a little bit about protecting the Pope. Did you, in watching this story unfold, what do you think about the way the Pope is traveling in an open, in an open car?
Isn't it fascinating? He doesn't seem to care. He doesn't seem to care in the midst of all of these frightening predictions that this and that could happen. He's very open to saying, listen, I want to be with the people. I don't want to be distant from them. And I want to be there in a very simple, poor way. It's not a big limousine. It's not an expensive thing. It's trying to be as simple and pure and as like Christ as he can be.
Ashley, what are your thoughts on the Pope's message to the United States today?
Well, I think one thing that really stood out to me was what he said to the bishops at St. Matthew's Cathedral today, which was that the Church in America's advocacy for life and marriage was the primary reason that he chose to come. I mean, we have to remember the reason he came was for the World Meeting of Families in Philadelphia. He's made it clear that marriage and the family is essential to civilization, and I think that a lot of what he said was very much in line with that. And I think, again, both in his words and in his actions, this idea of mercy, closeness to the people really came through. On his way, before he left to head to the White House, here he's got 15,000 people, all these heads of state and important people waiting for him, and he chose to, one at a time, shake the hands of youth who are waiting out there, probably since 4 or 5 in the morning, hug them, take pictures with them. He's a man who wants to be close to the people, and he made that very clear today.
We've got Bo Dietl and Matt Welch here in the studio. Bo, here's the thing also. The other story that's unfolding is the New York Police Department disclosing that they did study more than 30 years of assassination plots and attacks on previous pontiffs. And, John Miller, he's NYPD's deputy commissioner. He said, the cops broke down every attempt on every Pope's life, going back to, of course, the attempted assassination of John Paul II.
Yeah, John Miller's a very good friend of mine, and he's a very astute guy, and he's on top of this. I think they want to look at the profile of what type of person reacts to try to kill a pope or something like that and see the differences, whether it be religious, whether it be psychopathic, or what other way or means a person wants to try to get to this pope. I have never seen security the way I've seen security around this city.
And you've been doing this for decades.
Yeah, and I just left my offices are at Penn Plaza, One Penn Plaza, across from the garden. And I always get my shoes shined there. For some reason, the homeless are disappearing also all over. The homeless are becoming very sparse. Then I read in the paper.
Why do you think that's so?
Well, I read in the paper that they were gathering them up in East Harlem where the Pope is going to be. I guess they don't want homeless people to be seen around, especially you have the pontiff going to be there. I don't think it would look good for New York City, and I think they should pick them up.
But the Pope is a man of the people. Don't you think he would want to reach out?
Well, I tell you what, he's worrying me. I'm worried stiff for him because he just wants to get out there. And I put it this way, when I just saw what he did in Washington with those kids, I'm a big supporter of our Pope, and I respect him so much for wanting to do what he's doing. And when he talks about the family values, the system of a father and mother in a family structure, that's the epitome of how a life should be as far as with kids.
Well, there's a lot of different families, but besides,
family, I'm into that father and mother stuff.
I know, but I get it, but there are a lot of different family structures here in the United States that are working just fine.
Yeah.
Let's get Matt involved here. New York PD Police Department Commissioner Bill Bratton saying there's no credible threats right now, no credible threats against the Pope in any of the U.S. cities he's visiting. He's going to have an additional 6,000, quote, guardian angels surrounding him. What do you think of what's happening?
Bill Bratton and New York has been on a heightened alert since basically all of our adult lives at this point. So I think people, the professionals are in charge of it. I think the interesting thing about the Pope right now is what he's going to say to Congress tomorrow, especially as he puts America at the height of the capitalist system that he's critical of.